All right, people, I think there's something very weird going on behind the scenes with Durk's case, and if you want my personal opinion, disclaimer, my personal opinion, not necessarily facts, but definitely a well-informed opinion, I think that Lil Durk and his team are trying to run a play from behind bars to take the heat off of some of the more nefarious things that he's been accused of recently. Specifically, okay, it was reported in recent paperwork, it's been claimed that Lil Durk was telling his guys to slide on O-Block members for not sliding for Von. And specifically, one of the names that pops up in here is Munna Duke from O-Block. It says these text messages between defendant DeAndre Wilson, Booney Mo, confidential informant, show Durk's feud with O-Block member Munna Duke was over Banks' belief that O-Block members were not properly retaliating for King Von's death. Now, what's crazy about this, what's particularly crazy about this, is Munna Duke ended up getting assassinated. Okay, I mean, maybe assassination's not the right word, you know, maybe it's not a political assassination like the Charlie Kirk thing, but he ended up getting gunned down at a Chicago restaurant, okay? And the Chicago Sun-Times reported him as actually the alleged O-Block gang leader. Rashawn Munna Duke Vance was slain early Saturday, and he was an associate of King Von, okay? So this was a pretty brutal murder, and now since this has happened, a lot of people have been curious, okay, as to what the beef between Munna Duke and Lil Durk could have been. Specifically, there's been new clips circulating, all right, that Munna Duke was actually openly telling people turn off that Lil Durk. Now, I don't want to get copyrighted here, so I'm going to be careful, but Munna Duke did this live where a Durk song's playing. He said, hey, turn that off.
The world would be way better if you bitch ass nigga. No, I want to hit something else. Hold on, let me play something else.
He said, hit something else, play something else, man, change the song. I ain't trying to get in too much trouble over this one. But he ends up switching it for a King Von song. All right? And it says, Munna Duke wasn't effing with that smirk. He said, play something else. Why, though? Hanging with wolves is fire now. A lot of people are beginning to work out, okay, that this actually had there was a serious beef going on between these guys before Munna Duke died. There's been a lot of speculation as to whether Durk or the OTF demons might have had something to do with what happened to Munna Duke. But here's where the play comes into play. Because there is now a new rumor going around, all right? This is actually crazy, okay? Because I'm going to give you all of the facts on this. You're not going to believe what I'm about to tell you. So there's now, there's now a rumor going around, all right? Conveniently, just after Lil Durk is now being accused of having a beef with O-Block members and wanting to hurt and kill O-Block members for not sliding for Von. Also, add to that, Munna Duke was actually having a baby with the mother of Lil Durk's brother, D-Thang, who died. He's having a baby with D-Thang's baby mama. Now, people have been wondering, was that the reason for the tension with Durk? Or perhaps was the tension with Durk that was already existing the reason that Munna Duke actually wanted to wife it up with the widow of Durk's brother, D-Thang? But now, conveniently, just after we find out that Lil Durk and Munna Duke were actually having a big beef with O-Block, now these suspicious rumors have come out conveniently at the perfect time, mind you. What's to these new rumors of Munna Duke running off on the plug, allegedly? There's rumors floating around that Duke ran off on his plug before he was killed. His death doesn't really make any sense how random it was. Don't know about random. So is there any truth to this? It's only a matter of time before the real truth comes out. Now, don't you think it's very, very convenient that this new narrative just starts to get spread? It's getting spread a whole bunch of places that, no, Munna Duke didn't get killed because of his beef with Lil Durk and OTF, and he didn't get killed because of his beef with Front Street and, you know, Chief Keef's old crew, and they were at war with O-Block. No, feds. No, this is all, he ran off on the plug. Like, he ran off with some drugs. That's why he got killed. It had nothing to do with this. Now, that might not be suspicious on its own, all right? But people are saying right up to him and Youngin being killed, even after Duke got out, Youngin and Gleesh were out drunk every weekend. They were getting lazy with it. They was drunk and loafing. That's it. One time to cross out Migo, he's going to take your life, so I don't understand how Plies ran off on the plug twice. People are saying how, and then this is where it gets very interesting. Gang, y'all love saying dudes run off on the plug. First it was Lil Pab, and now it's Duke. What the F? Because yes, people, once news about Quando's cousin Lil Pab, once the news about him getting killed in LA surfaced, okay, and everybody, including me, was pointing the finger at Durk saying this is obviously a hit that's come from OTF. Nobody else would have wanted to do that. You might not remember, okay? You might not pay as much close attention as your boy Trap does, but this was a narrative that was pushed very heavily in the midst of all of the stuff. Okay, people saying proof Lil Pab run off on plugs in Cali. Okay, it says Adam knows exactly what happened, including 600. Pab was the target. Quando wasn't. I heard Quando was outside by the gas pump and Pab was sitting in the car. They ran up on the car, see Quando and ignored him. They see Pab and got up on him. The 60s got it done for them dudes. Pab ran off on. Tell Durk stop trying to buy bodies to claim it too. Now we're knowing how much of a bunch of cap that is. But 2 years ago, suspiciously, these narratives started getting pushed around the time that everyone was pointing the finger at Lil Durk. Now let's hear this clip.
Who exactly was saying that?
I don't know.
You know what's banned is when you see something like that Quando Rondo shit. You know? That's a dude who, they wanted their guy.
When this guy got shot?
And he was in a touristy-ass area, not too far from here.
And
they fucking ran up assassin style and they took his homie out.
Well, I heard they was just trying to get their man. I didn't think it was like on him. It wasn't on Quando, was it?
I mean, still to this day, I'm kind of confused because his man was talking hella shit about the situation with Vaughn and everything, but it's like Quando did plenty of disrespectful ass shit.
Did somebody get arrested for it?
For that murder?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. We're still waiting on that. But I'm just saying.
Well, now come to find out, Lil Durk's getting caught for the murder for hire, okay? And be saying, we already knew this, bro. This has been street knowledge for a while now. Look how little these idiots in the comments knew, all right? Look at this. This is going to age so terribly. Oh, well, now I filled you in, brother. I know some of them boys IRL. That's the word that came back home to the streets of the city the same day little bro got killed out on the West Coast. Them boys ran up and shot Pab and only Pab. They never attempted to harm and kill Quando because apparently he was standing at the gas pump pumping gas and they just ran up and let off into Pab and dipped. They could have easily took out Quando with Pab, but they didn't because it wasn't no beef with Quando, just personal beef with the 60s in LA because Pab ran off on the plug thinking stuff was sweet and they got up on him. Cap. Like I'm sure they had already warned him and sent him a message about it on top of that. Then you came back to their hood stunting with them diamond teeth and all that money with Quando. Pab is the reason Pab died. He was moving stupid and sloppy. What a load of cap. You look real dumb now. Durkio done got caught with it. Oh, he definitely ran off, but that was Durk's hit for sure. Now with that paperwork. See, everybody backtracking, all right? Don't entertain shit, bro. Don't let them weirdo OTF fans paint the narrative that Lil Durk, aka Don Dada, and he's sliding. Everyone knows that no Chicago dudes did that to someone from Savannah since Von died, and that's a fact. Durk and them being quit flagging bodies they wasn't involved with. Cap. All right, whole bunch of cap. All right, whole bunch of cap. And so this was spread, and I'm not gonna lie. In my opinion, it wouldn't surprise me if it was Durk's team trying to muddy the waters. All right. And then I thought you said Lil Pab ran off on the Cali plug. This was just soon after Durk's arrest. Okay, and they're saying not gonna lie, even that don't even make sense. They're saying Quando even stated on a song that Pab ran off on the plug and he was apologizing to Pab's parents. Everyone thought it was because he ran off on somebody on Cali. The notice by the time Quando and Tim's mixtape dropped on the song Most Wanted, he spoke on Pab's death again, but in a different way. He said, clearly they got one down on my gang, kill a dude with the same bandana on, 60s who's locked in with the BDs. I had to laugh at Brick Baby. Should have been listening to his songs, okay? This narrative was pushed a whole bunch. They were trying to get the heat off Durk. They were thinking they was going to get away with it. Okay, and then people was finding out, all right? People was realizing from these lyrics, hang on a minute, the Pab thing was really get back for Von, okay? And then you've even got people, people all just trying to debate this. Bruh, this is so damn obvious. All that Pab ran off on the plug stuff was started by who? Whack 100? I don't know if it did come from, I don't remember Whack 100 saying this ever. People are convinced Whack was paid to say that by 6ix9ine or something. Come on now. Wasn't probably OTF themselves, but Durk dropped the bag, which counts as get back. Come to find out, it was allegedly them Chicago gangsters, okay? He was saying 3 years ago, Lil Pab was shot and killed, man. And there's all types of people debating in the comments about exactly why this happened, exactly what was going on. Dudes were swearing that wasn't Mustafa. That's Durk's hat. Trying to say a drug deal went wrong, lol. Same, I thought he was backdoored over a drug deal by his own set. I didn't think Durk would risk his career and freedom. That ran off on the plug in LA theory never made any sense. Right? Everybody was spreading this fake narrative that Pab was shot because he ran off from the plug. And they're now trying to pull this same failed effort on the Munna Duke situation, which I think is very, very interesting. If Pab was get back for Von, why would the shooting happen that only time that he brought Pab with him all those times in LA after Von got killed? And also the only side of the car that was shot up was Pab's side of the car. Ain't no way Durk gonna pay all that money and the target didn't get hit. Okay? Pab was out pumping gas and they shot the car when he was getting back in. Look, all right, look, I've made it very clear, right? This is the exact same narrative that they were pushing off a long time ago, okay? They're showing all these no jumper clips. I've been told you Pab run off on the plug. Dudes was mad, so they downvoted me because it was cap. It was a bunch of cap, right?
So, you know, I point out the holes, like the whole thing with Flacco and his Brick Baby and Quando, right? I knew it was cap. Like, as far as the storyline, it was good content because I actually went to Quando Rondo's bail hearing. I heard wiretaps.
Oh, really?
So I know they ain't looking at dirt for that. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's just what I'm on. I'm attending more trials, more hearings, because you get more details when you actually sit there. So
that Quando shit is crazy because until I heard you describing some of the stuff that they talked about on that phone call, that was always one that I just didn't even mention it to Brick because I was just kind of like, I don't really want to know, and it doesn't look that like I'm watching the Trap Lord Ross shit about it. I'm like, bro, this is kind of convincing. I'm just gonna not mention it.
Going crazy.
Yeah,
I'll be honest, because like my ending of every video is Brick Baby when I first started on No Jumper saying I was gonna be big when the Rollo stuff first episode. That's my ending to every video. So boy, they was like, hey, did you see what Flacco said about Brick Baby? And I was like, it's good content. And if you didn't know, because I learned from the news down there in Savannah. Because I learn from people all the time. They was like, you don't give them everything. You just give them bits and pieces. So a lot of like my notes from there, I ain't released. So, but when it comes out, like, y'all know that's just content, right?
So from what you heard, what do you think happened?
It's definitely drug and gang related.
that is pretty close to what we heard.
Yeah. And that's that.
But not the gang that people might
No,
assume.
not the gang. Yeah, definitely not a gang. Okay, definitely the gang that will reach over somebody, shoot somebody they want for sure.
Right.
But yeah,
No. So where you and Whack at right now?
So they pushing the running off on the plug narrative on all types of places, and now they pushing the exact same thing for Munna Duke. What's to these new rumors of Munna Duke running off on the plug allegedly? It ain't gonna work, man. That like, you guys think you're actually gonna spin the feds? Like, you think you're gonna spin the cops like that? You're gonna spin the cops like Young Thug? It's not gonna work, man. And honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. Sometimes I think like there's levels to this whole Reddit chiracology thing, right? There's the gangsters in the streets that don't even realize Reddit exists, and they're super mad when they actually find out. They find out, oh my god, they're talking about all my bodies on Reddit. Oh my god, all right. There's those guys. Then you got the guys one step up. They know about what's going on in the Reddit. Maybe they're pissed off at it, but they just ignore it. Then you got the next level guys that know about what's going on the Reddit, and they kind of play to it. You saw that song with THF Lil Law, I'm a Handler, where he's got bars in the song rapping about they heard I did the murder on Reddit. I told the detectives, man, they lying on me on Reddit. Like, this gets scary. Okay, so there's the guys that actually know and understand what's going on in the Reddit, and they play into that narrative. They know that they can't do anything about it, so they kind of play into it. I feel like that's the best way to go. Like THF Lil Law, he's smart. He making references to the Reddit. He getting the Reddit turned, and is promoting his music career. And then you got the final level where it gets so high up the hierarchy that it actually just becomes insane. I honestly think that there are guys that are actually doing PR on Reddit. They're placing, whether you want to say it's bot comments, whether you want to say they're placing posts. But honestly, I do think that there are guys that are actually in Chicago dealing with these cases that are planting fake stories on Reddit to try and muddy the waters and confuse people. People always saying, oh, you heard some shit on Reddit, it wasn't true. Well, look, Reddit is the starting point for me. I look at Reddit and then I go and do my own research to dig even deeper. But I do think, all right, just like people say, oh, there's misinformation on Reddit, I think there's misinformation on Reddit that is planted by the gangsters themselves who are trying to avoid accountability for some of the things they've done. And it really wouldn't surprise me, in my opinion, if that is what's going on here. And the OTF, what, you're telling me you got tens of millions of dollars to pay for a lawyer to defend your case against the feds, but you ain't got a little money to do a little bit of Reddit PR, have a few Reddit accounts created to twist the narrative? Hey, a lot of people were saying that that's what David was doing when we start seeing all of these stories saying, oh, the police are saying he's not a suspect. That story was pushed and promoted, if you ask me. Okay. And so since then, there's been a bunch of other stuff, okay, where you're seeing O-Block members and O-Block affiliates coming out to almost defend Durk. They're saying this is O-Block D-Band saying free Smirk. By the looks of things, the files the feds released about Smirk, the internal beef was once an issue, but it was probably resolved before Durk was charged. Yeah, sure. All right. Honestly, it's not. Look, these gangsters, all right, they play by their same street rules. Okay. They don't want to see their ops go to jail. It's not honorable to see your ops or people that wanted to kill you go to jail. So just because everyone from O Block is coming out the woodwork to say free Durk to try and distance themselves from this thing, I don't even necessarily think that that's true. Look, I'm not saying that Durk and OTF lined up Munna Duke to get killed, but I just don't believe it when people are saying, like, these types of comments, it's like you're talking like you know too much. He says, free, by the looks of things, by the looks of what? This one post. All right. By the looks of things, the files the feds released about Smirk internal beef was once an issue, but it was probably resolved. Where are you getting this from? I think this is PR. Listen, man, I feel like it's PR, and it's not the only one, okay? It's not the only one. What's very interesting, okay, is there's actually a comment now telling people to stop pushing the narrative that Durk had beef with Duke due to him being with D-Thang's baby mama. It's stupid. Like, Durk didn't care. You guys probably care more than Durk if we're being real. Durk was on Duke's live before. Now, let's look into these links for fairness, okay? Like, for real, any type of post that insinuates this would instantly be removed. Misinformation is going on another level, and sometimes the people we're talking about it are affected IRL. The sub is too big, and some of you can't understand this. We had rappers, big names, putting their lawyers to message Reddit and remove content from this sub that was related to them. So you're the one deciding what's true or not, huh? Free speech means letting ideas clash and not letting one side DPOY of the truth. Okay? So look, people are running damage control, man. They're trying to control the narrative. Now, this is an old throwback clip that he's playing. He's saying Duke is saying that Durk's his brother and they're not into it. But this doesn't really mean anything. This doesn't really mean anything because these guys don't hop on interviews and say, yeah, fuck Durk. He's trying to kill me. I'm trying to kill him too. Hopefully he doesn't kill me before I kill. Like, that's not what happened. So this doesn't prove anything, but it is interesting. Let's look at it for fair.
Bro, I got the internet be trying to say like you into it with Lil Durk over like a baby mom or situation like that, bro.
Nah, that's my brother, man.
Okay.
I love him for the sake of my life.
Okay.
That's my brother. You know?
Okay, I just forgot the internet be trying to say y'all into it like that.
None of that. You know
so that's your brother,
man. You know
okay.
So look, he could have been trolling, man. He could have been trolling. He could have just not been trying to talk hot. He's never going to claim that they actually had a real beef. This is the next link. This is Durk on Duke being free. When Duke got out of jail, apparently Durk posted it. So Munna Duke home posted a picture of Duke and Moowop, and they're saying, well, you know, that means that maybe they weren't beefing. But one picture, one post doesn't mean that they're not beefing. You know, Durk might have posted people on his story that he was looking to get out of the way. You never know. But people saying you swore Durk and Duke don't mess with each other, but look at this. And this is Lil Durk posting Munna Duke when he released his mixtape. Okay, that's him posting it. So they're saying, oh, it's all love between them. People saying, you really think OTF be into it with the the Lamb, and 300 when it's really petty stuff? Durk keeping his distance because the feds are on everybody. Y'all still ain't realized these MFs on this Reddit don't know an MFing thing about what's going on, do all of that stalking, and still can't read. Okay? On God, these dudes here swore they were beefing. I'm not going to lie. I think there was more going on behind the scenes than we could possibly know. I'm not saying that Lil Durk arranged for Munna Duke to be killed, but there definitely was a beef. And me personally, I feel like when that narrative about Lil Pab running off on the plug was being pushed, I'm not going to lie, that made me think even more so that OTF had something to do with it. Because it just seemed a little bit too suspicious that you guys were suddenly posting this narrative that didn't make any sense, all right? Didn't really make any sense. There weren't really any validity to it. There wasn't really any proof to it. Just a couple no-jumper comments and interviews parroting the information. That's not proof of anything. Okay, so for me, the fact that they're now pushing this very poorly thought-out narrative, all right, that, oh, no, Munna Duke ran off on the plug, man. Munna Duke ran off on the plug. Nah, I don't know about that. It's suspicious. What do you guys think, man? Do you feel like Lil Durk and OTF are running a play from behind bars to try and distance themselves from potentially being connected to another deadly beef? Or am I reaching and is the whole Reddit reaching? I don't know. Like, it's difficult. Once again, it just feels like if you want me to accept that Munna Duke ran off on the plug, like, if you want me to accept that far-fetched story with zero evidence, like, bruh, it's easier for me to believe that Lil Durk has something to do with this than to believe with zero evidence, just words on a screen, that Munna Duke ran off on the plug, and that's what this was all about, and it ain't got nothing to do with anyone else. He just ran off on the plug, and they happened to be camping outside the restaurant for him. That's a tall order, man, but let me know what you guys think down below. I'm going to have more videos coming for you guys throughout the day. Stay tuned. I will keep you guys updated, all of that good stuff. I can't talk today. I'm tired. I need some coffee. Anyway, I'll catch you in a bit. Peace.